The Big Whack presents Buffalo on the Rise, sponsored by Dr. Kaplansky Dental Implants. Get new permanent teeth in 24 hours with our exclusive Teeth Now process. Welcome to the television show devoted to local business, Buffalo on the Rise, with your host, Joe Chili. There's an entrepreneurial spirit in Western New York that's putting our area on the cusp of greatness. Each week, Buffalo on the Rise features local business leaders and decision makers who are shaping our future. If it's about local business, we'll talk about it right here, right now, during Buffalo on the Rise.
I'm Joe Chili. On this edition of The Big Whack presents Buffalo on the Rise. Do you need dental implants? What choices do you have to make? Dr. Kaplansky has advice for you. Do you need to lose weight, quit smoking, or alleviate stress? Consider a visit to Amherst Hypnosis for the help you need. Is your home ready for winter? You might need USA insulation to keep it warmer and save on your heating bill. All on this edition of The Big Whack presents Buffalo on the Rise.
I'm Joe Chili. You can listen to me mornings on The Big Whack. Joining us today on The Big Whack's Buffalo on the Rise is Dr. Kaplansky, and I want to welcome you to the show today. I'm impressed by some of the things I see about you. You know, we do background, obviously, before we do a program like this. So I wanted to look up some things about you. First off, you started in business with a friend of mine in Niagara Falls, which was a while ago, but all of your certifications and things like this, you'll have to explain some of these things to me. Because if I look up dentists in general, I see a couple of things. Graduated from here, did work here, or whatever. But you're board certified in implant dentistry, diplomat of the American Board of Oral Implantology, fellow at the American Academy of Implant Dentistry, fellow International Congress of Oral Implantologists, fellow Academy of Dentistry, certified Zaga Center, which is kind of like a mystery to me. We'll have to ask you about that. But what do all these things mean? To me, this means that all dentists are not the same, right? I mean, but when you start looking at all these things, how long did it take to get these? And was it something that you planned originally, or did you say, these are the things I'm going to go for as far as certifications?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you for inviting me
Sure.
to the program. It's my pleasure to be here with you. It's a lifelong journey, really. This obviously took years to accomplish. And unfortunately, that's what we see often now in practice, is many younger dentists just fresh out of residency are doing these procedures, and they probably don't have enough experience yet to perform them.
When you start talking about things, and you start talking about implants, because it's something specifically that you do, is there something that they teach you in dental school with regard to implants? You know, something that all dentists do. And how did you move past that to come up with your own Teeth Now method?
Absolutely. So in dental school, you get some really basic rudimentary kind of education on all aspects of dentistry, on all the different procedures. So they can't really focus on anything too in-depth. And then after you graduate, that's when you expand your knowledge, then you kind of go more into the areas of your interest. So my area of interest was dental implants, and I really wanted to get much deeper knowledge in that area. And that's how it all happened.
Dental implants. When I have a very basic knowledge of these things, so I'm going to ask you, but you know, you start thinking about things like bone grafts and the prep work that goes into this, and it sounds very invasive to me. And as just a normal individual, I like to avoid pain.
Absolutely, yeah. We all do.
So, I mean, you probably looked the same way. You probably looked at this and said, there's got to be a better way to do this procedure.
True. So traditionally, dental implants aren't new. So they've been placed routinely for probably about 30 years now, with a lot of data, a lot of research, and it's backed up by science. Now, Traditionally, the thinking in dentistry was that you have to prep the site first. So if the site or the bone in the area is deficient, you have to build it up. And how do you build it? By grafting bone, either from a donor or from animals. You would take the bone, graft it in the area, and then grow the bone, then place the implant. So that basically means multiple procedures, multiple surgeries, a lot of time and healing, discomfort, obviously, and patients, had a very, very long journey for absolutely no reason. So what we did, again, based on the current research and the modern science, is we changed the tactic a little bit. So we look for solid native bone instead of using grafted bone that unfortunately a lot of times later turns into mush and it's not even usable. We use patient's native bone, which is stronger usually, doesn't require additional surgeries, and gives us better and faster results.
Is it a long, involved process?
The Teeth Now procedure that we kind of created is very streamlined. You literally, in 24 hours, you take patients from either no teeth or decayed, non-restorable teeth to permanent teeth, 24 hours.
Is it something that lasts the entire life, your entire life?
It can. It depends on a lot of factors. Most, again, scientific research shows us longevity of dental implants anywhere from 15 to 25 and more years. But a lot of it depends on patients' general health, which can change throughout their lifetime, and also on the maintenance, on care and maintenance. So we do insist that patients come back for routine hygiene so we can check things and clean things.
Are you trying to tell me that people don't generally take care of their teeth?
Sometimes they do.
You know, flossing is a big thing. You're trying to keep your teeth. Right. I think that this is fascinating in itself. I think the fact that it's less invasive, your procedure, is a big thing. Not just, for myself. I mean, I hate to sound like, oh my, I don't want to have to go through this, but, I had parents and grandparents that went through dentures, and many, many different kinds of dentures, and dentures that didn't seat right, and dentures that were constantly slipping, or whatever the case may be. So
we see it very common. It's a very common experience. Patients really hate their removable appliances. So I'm yet to see a patient who is happy with their denture. So that was another push in creating a process that would give people permanent teeth. So the teeth that they wouldn't have to remove every day to clean. Teeth that wouldn't hurt them when they chew. Teeth that wouldn't fall out when they laugh. That's what we did.
So if you hate your removable, appliance, you'd want to give Dr. Kaplansky a call. Dentistry by Dr. Kaplansky, 8038 Rochester Road in Gasport. Phone number 716-772-7500. drkaplansky.com is the website, drkaplansky.com.
Sponsorship and promotional consideration for the preceding segment was provided by the following.
I'm Joe Chili. You can listen to me mornings on the Big Weck. Joining us today on the Big Weck Buffalo on the Rise is Louis Ciola from Amherst Hypnosis.
Hello.
Louis, nice to have you with us today. Thank you so much.
Nice to be here.
I have so many questions about hypnosis in general. First off, I want to know, can you hypnotize the entire audience over TV or no?
What they do is they will never show a hypnotic induction. If you watch TV, if you watch MASH, and they call him Sidney the psychiatrist, he'll say, stare at this pen, and then they cut away because half the audience would go into a hypnotic trance.
Really?
Yes, they will not show a hypnotic induction on TV or in a movie.
So is it against the law, or is
No, it's just hypnosis is the power of suggestion, and it's a meditative state. But if they showed it, you would be like, if I said, take a deep breath, start picturing a beautiful place, and pretty soon you'd be, off in a daydream somewhere.
So I guess the question, big question, can anybody be hypnotized?
Anybody with imagination, because hypnosis is, we are literally hypnotized every day of our lives. If someone says, would you say we go out to dinner tonight, or let's order out for pizza? Or you go through the checkout line at Wegmans and they got all these little things of candies, and it's the impulse, it's the power of suggestion. I went to Joann Fabrics one time and they wind you through this labyrinth, and they have all these little things while you're waiting in line to check out, and you say, well, give me the soap or this or that.
So if I say my name, Joe Chili, I don't expect a bunch of people at home to feel cold. Probably not.
No, but you could, if you were using a memory technique, you could think of chili con carne. Chili is being cold. There's memory techniques that you could associate.
So I think I may have mentioned this to you before we went on the air. When I was growing up, I think I remember seeing, or in a class, media class, about some things that they used to try. They would flash something on a screen for just like a second. You may not even realize you saw it. And it could have been a word or something like that.
Popcorn?
Yeah. And when they flash that on the screen, does that actually make a suggestion for you to want that item?
That's a subliminal. Columbo did an episode of subliminal cuts. There was an episode where this one guy would use the subliminal cuts where you flash popcorn, soda, you're at the drive-in and you see that on the screen and you want to rush out and get popcorn. Or you will, when you watch a commercial on TV for food and you go, oh, that looks good, and then you want to run out and buy the product.
That's pretty amazing in itself. Now, as a hypnotherapist, what does a hypnotherapist actually do?
A hypnotherapist guides you into a meditative state and helps you to change your focus. Now, it's like if you cut your arm and you went to the ER and the doctor cleaned the wound and put stitches in it. He doesn't heal the wound, but he sets up the conditions for nature to heal the wounds. So I help people to heal themselves, like from smoking or weight or stress or whatever it is, okay? Because if you help a person I give the suggestion to outgrow a habit. If you, like when the little kids hit a certain age, they'll stop playing with Barbies or cars and trucks. If you outgrow the smoking habit or overeating, then you no longer desire that to smoke or whatever. So I help you to heal yourself from whatever it is that's bothering you. I guide you into a meditative state. And in fact, my piano teacher inadvertently hypnotized me years ago. She told me the story of a famous concert artist. He would come to town to take a coaching session from his old teacher to see if he was developing bad habits, and in payment, he would sight read a stack of music. This stuck for his teacher for the upcoming year, and it stuck in my mind to become a really good sight reader. So I had to really work hard at it, but I'm a good sight reader to this day because the suggestion to become a great sight reader was there.
But do you have to have the ability to begin with? I mean, like, for instance, you see, these comics and people on TV, they used to hypnotize people and make them quack like a chicken and bark like a dog and all this kind of things. In the event that an individual, say you were going to hypnotize me, and I just kept in my mind, I will not be hypnotized. I will not be hypnotized. Can somebody, you're laughing now, can somebody do that?
I can tell you, Joe, don't picture a pink elephant. Whatever you do, put that right out of your mind and do not think of a pink elephant. Because you should not ever just force yourself not to think of a pink elephant.
I'm thinking of a pink elephant.
Right, okay.
And when I grew up in Niagara Falls, there was a restaurant called Honey's Pizzeria.
Right.
In front of it, there was a pink elephant. So
and if you look at one of these famous cookie stores, used to let the smell of their cookies waft through the mall. And you talk about the power of suggestion. I went by Carrabba's Steakhouse one night, and it just about killed me. I wanted to go and get a steak so bad. Just the smell of that steak just drove me nuts. And that's the power of suggestion. You want that chocolate chip cookie or that nice steak?
Well, you also told me about the power of suggestion when maybe your mate or your significant other makes a fantastic dinner.
Right.
And then at the same time he talks about a new piece of furniture or a new appliance that they may
By
need?
the way, can we get the couch? Can we get the washing machine? Do you think we could take a vacation this year and go to Hawaii? And that's the hypnotic suggestion.
All right. Well, if you want to be hypnotized for a good reason, and I'm talking about things like smoking cessation, weight loss, or things like that. For more information and answers to your questions, you can contact Amherst Hypnosis by calling 716-839-3632 or go to amhersthypnosis.net. Sponsorship and promotional consideration for the preceding segment has been brought to you by the following. I'm Joe Chile. You can listen to me mornings on the Big Weck. Joining us today on the Big Weck's Buffalo on the Rise is Mark Klinger, who is from USA Installation. He's the owner and president. Mark, welcome.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it.
Nice to have you here. You know, it's the time of the year. It's the season that people are going to start thinking about insulating their homes. You know, and maybe, you know, people will think, oh, it's too late, or we never insulated when we put that addition on, or, you know, the attic isn't insulated, but it's never too late, is it?
Never too late to re-insulate. That's one of our slogans.
What does it add to home comfort? Do you really lose that much energy, that much heat out of a home that doesn't have proper insulation?
Oh, absolutely. Your walls alone, heat loss through your walls, about 35% of your heat / energy lost is going to go just through your walls alone. Not to mention your attic, potentially your rim joists in your basement. Energy waste is really the biggest problem that we're solving for people.
People at one point, you know, I remember when I was growing up, you know, as a kid, you know, my father would get the big rolls of fiberglass insulation, right? And if you were smart enough, you wore gloves and a high-neck shirt and long sleeves so you weren't itching for days.
Right.
But anyway, you know, you're taking that and you're tacking that up. And I think we even wore masks. You want to inhale that stuff. Is fiberglass insulation a thing of the past?
No, it's not a thing of the past. In fact, most home builders today, that's what they're using. It is the most cost-effective for new construction. That's what most builders use. Now, the standards for the type of that fiberglass and the thickness of it they used has increased over time, but it is still commonly used.
What about installation time? If somebody wants to have installation done in their home, is it a big process? Do they have to rip walls out to do it? What's the story?
So for our product, our premium injection foam, no, there is no demolition required. We install it cleanly from outside your home. 99% of our jobs are completed within 1 day. So we're there in the morning, we're gone before you're having dinner at night.
Are there any kind of programs through New York State, whatever, to kind of save money on things like this?
Absolutely. In fact, we, effective June 1st of 2023, we've been approved by the NYSERDA program, which is, excuse me, a statewide initiative that is meant for reducing the amount of fossil fuels that people use in their homes. So where that starts is what's called load reduction, insulating the shell of your home. So because we're an approved vendor of that program, we're able to offer people incentives through that program to have our insulation products and services done at their home. Some people can save, depending, there are some programs based on income where people can get 50% of the cost of their insulation provided by the program. Some can get 100% of it paid for, depending on their income. Everyone, however, at least qualifies for a rebate program. And we are happy to talk to people about that. We can tell them what they qualify for right over the phone when they call us.
What do you tell people? Because nowadays, you know, people seem to, DIY is a big thing, you know, do it yourself. I'm going to Google this online and see if I can do it myself. What do you tell people when they say, well, maybe I can just do this myself?
Well, when it comes to doing what we do in your home, there isn't a comparable product that anyone could do to their home on their own. It's a patented process and product that is only USA Installation authorized franchises are allowed to use our proprietary injection foam in walls. So that wouldn't even be an option for someone to do themselves. As far as putting insulation in their attic or in a crawl space or something like that, I always look at it this way. You want the experts to make sure it's done right. And that's what we are. We're not just a contractor that happens to do insulation. We are an insulation contractor. That's what we do.
And when you start talking about insulation, values. Now, this is all kind of foreign to me, but you talk about our values, right? What are our values? I don't know about your values. I know my values. No, what are our values?
So our value is, R stands for resistance. So the performance of insulation is measured on R value. The higher the R value, the more resistance between hot and cold that there will be in that insulation. So for instance, a fiberglass insulation product will have an R value of about 3.1 per inch. Cellulose, which is like ground up newspaper, that also has an R value of about 3.1 per inch. Our premium injection foam has an R value of 5.1 per inch. So what that means is in a 4-inch wall cavity, so a 2x4 wall, we can get over an R20 in that wall, which even with fiberglass, the best you can do is an R15.
Are people concerned at all, or is there a concern with safety when it comes to insulation?
Well, no, safety in regards to the house not having enough insulation, or
about fire hazards or things of this nature when it comes to insulation.
Well, what I will say is most fiberglass insulation, it doesn't really do anything to protect your home from fire. Our product, our premium injection foam, is actually a fire retardant. So it doesn't, I want to say it prevents fire, but it will slow the burning of someone's home. It does come with some noise reduction benefits. It reduces allergens that are able to enter your home through unsealed areas within your walls and at the particularly your rim joists and your attic soffit vents and so on. It does reduce a lot of things that can make their way into your home. So all in all, there's several benefits to it.
Also, the sound deadening. I think well, for somebody that's been in media and radio his whole life, sound deadening is something that I'm very interested in. So those are some of the benefits to the homeowner. What would be the first step that they do in the event that they question whether they have insulation or don't have insulation, or whether they have enough insulation?
Well, the first thing they do is pick up the phone and call us or schedule an appointment on our website. We do a free home inspection of your home insulation. Again, no cost to it. We'll tell you where your house is as far as today's building standards and the best quality that's out there versus what you currently have, offer you some solutions and give you some direction.
Mark Klinger from USA Insulation, we really appreciate you being with us.
Thank you very much. I was glad to be here.
For more information and answers to your questions, contact USA Insulation by calling 716-431-4500 or go to usainsulation.net/Buffalo. Sponsorship and promotional consideration for the preceding segment was provided by the following.
Thanks for watching this edition of the Big Wack Presents Buffalo on the Rise. For information on this and other shows, go to our website, bigwack.com, and find out how you can participate on the program if you're a hometown business. I'm Joe Chili. Thanks for watching and listening to the Big Wack, Buffalo's oldie station.
The Big Wack Presents Buffalo on the Rise was sponsored by Dr. Kaplansky Dental Implants. Get new permanent teeth in 24 hours with our exclusive Teeth Now process.